that shit, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Well, we got a little bit of a 2-for-1 here. That's fucking right. What the fuck do I mean by that? Well, let's take a look through the goddamn news and find the fuck out. So, we're going to start first with Trump going back on his word about mail-in voting and, well, voting by mail. Yeah, you know how Trump was all against mail-in voting? And he's like, yeah, that shit causes fraud. That shit is helping the Democrats. Well, Trump has decided, you know what? Fuck that. I'm going to vote by mail anyways. Pretty much going back on his word that, well, mail-in voting is fraud and it's helping the Democrats. Because let's face it, how the fuck can you say that and then vote by mail? What? So, you pretty much just lied to your whole fucking tard base, whatever the fuck you want to call the MAGA fucking sphere. The MAGA tard sphere, there you go. But, this is the bullshit lies you want to tell your base there, Donald. This is the shit you want to say about, our democracy. Vote-in mailing is bad, but yet you're gonna vote by mail anyways? Huh? Explain to me what the fuck that makes sense. Anyways, but we got an article here from thehill.com that is going to give us some more insight on the motherfucking matter. Oh, shit. I don't care. I'm keeping that in. I kind of fucked up a little bit there and hit the wrong button nonetheless. Here we go. This is from thehill.com. As you all know, love using their articles. But President Trump last week returned a mail-in ballot ahead of Florida's primary election on Tuesday. Politico reported Monday the second time he has done so amid his unfounded claims that mail-in voting contributes to election fraud. Huh? So let me get this straight. You think that mail-in voting causes election fraud, but yet you still vote by mail. Okay, got it. Huh? Okay, bet. Oh my fucking God. The outlet added that Trump requested his ballot in late July, and it was returned August 13th, citing Palm Beach County voting records. Then watch, just fucking watch. He's gonna stage a video of him actually going in and voting. Just fucking watch. Just watch. Because he knows by doing this, he pretty much just went back on everything he said about mail-in voting and it being fraud. So, yeah, now he's got to make it look like he voted in person or he's kind of fucked here. This pretty much eliminates his whole argument about mail-in voting being fraud. Again, how can you say that mail-in voting is fraud, but then yet literally vote through mail-in ballots? Like, come on. When asked for similar confirmation, White House spokesperson Olivia Wales emphasized that Trump's priority voter ID legislation, the Safeguard American Voter Eligibility Act, Saved America Act, the act that literally violates people's constitutional rights, literally, like, why do we need ID? We don't need an ID to vote. Okay, it's that fucking simple. We don't need an ID to vote. I'm pretty fucking sure the people behind the counter table, whatever it is that they're set up behind that controls the voting and all that, the voting people, I'm pretty sure they have iPads or some kind of computer or something with everyone's public voting information. If I'm not mistaken, can't the voting people there that are running the polls look up people's information? I'm pretty sure, and I want to look this up real quick. Okay, so I just looked it up, and yes, they do have the ability to look up your public voter information, to look up your name and all of that. So, again, explain to me why we need an ID to vote when the people there can literally look up your information right there? It just doesn't make sense to me, you know? It's literally like a police officer demanding ID when they have no probable cause. You know what I mean? And it's just like that with voting. Why do I need to give you my ID if you can publicly look up my information? It's already there. My name, date of birth, my address, my political party, it's all there. It's public information. So again, why do we need to give up our IDs when you can literally look up our information? Like, it just seems like you want to control who can vote. That's what that sounds like. Okay? Again, voter registration information is public information, pretty much. Anyone can look up your voter registration. Yes, they can. Even the people at the polls, that's part of their job to look up your voter registration. How the fuck do you think they can see how the fuck do you think they can see if you're able to vote or not? They have to verify, so they got to look up your information, right? So where's the need for an ID when they can easily look you up? See what I mean now? Like, where's that make sense? It's publicly nice voice crack. It's publicly accessible information. We don't need to bring a fucking ID to vote. All the person at the fucking desk counter or whatever they're placed at, because I've realized different places place the people in different things. Sometimes they'll have them behind an actual desk. Sometimes they'll have them on a table or whatever. Most of the time it's a table. But like, whatever you walk up to, where the people are doing the information and giving out, you know, information on what to do and if you want to register right there, you know? I don't know. It's unbelievable. It's sad how much control this orange fuck wants over this country, you know? And we'll get to that. We'll get to that here in a little bit with the ballroom bullshit. But when asked for similar confirmation, White House spokesperson Olivia Wales emphasized Trump's priority voter ID legislation, the Safeguard America Voter Eligibility Save America Act, and its expectations allowing mail-in votes for illness, disability, military, or travel. It was the same statement obtained by The Hill in March when Trump last voted by mail. Pretty much any excuse to cover up the fact that he's a fucking hypocrite. Okay? You know? That's pretty much their way of covering up the fact that he doesn't truly mean what he says. And this is literal fucking proof. When he says he's against mail-in voting, and in that it causes election fraud, he's just spewing out talking points. Okay? He's not actually saying what he truly believes. Although we see from time to time, he lets slip up what he truly believes. And secretly, I think Trump supports mail-in voting. Again, he's already done it twice. And if he was so against it, then why did he already do it twice? Why did he already do it twice? That doesn't really seem like someone who's against mail-in voting, but okay, you know. Article goes on to read, as everyone knows, the president is a resident of Palm Beach and participates in Florida elections, but obviously primarily lives at the White House in Washington, D.C. She said in a statement to The Hill, this is a non-story. It's a non-story to you fucks because it exposes Donald Trump. That's why it's a non-story. Where's my drink? God damn it. Oh, there we go. Now I have a drink. Anyways, article goes on to motherfucking read. Trump signed an executive order in March to restrict mail-in voting. The order gave states until 60 days before November 3rd midterms to notify the U.S. Postal Service if they intend to submit a list of eligible voters based on citizenship data. And you know how he's been going on this racist tirade about, oh, there's illegals voting. Oh, illegals voting. Yeah. No, this is, again, this is just him and his racist bullshit. That's it. That's literally all this is. It's just him and his racist bullshit. You know? And he was actively attacking the Constitution. He was actively trying to get rid of the 14th Amendment. You know? It's like if you want to clean up illegal immigration in this country, then maybe attacking the Constitution isn't the way to go about it, bud. Okay? Just because you're a racist fucking prick and you think you're a dictator doesn't mean you're going to get your way all the fucking time. But nah. That's not how it works with Donnie. And it's sad. Only then would the service allow the states to states represented fucking A. Okay, let's try that again. Oh, yeah. As I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted by a case of Rakai brain there. We all know what Rakai brain is. The man who speaks no languages and only Tard. Good old Rakai. You know? But the article goes on to read, only then would the service allow the state's respective residents to receive mail-in or absentee ballots. So pretty much what that is saying is that if Trump doesn't like you, you can't vote. Okay? Or if you're not supporting Trump, you can't vote. Pretty much. That's the only reason that's there. And that's the only reason that's being said. Is because, again, if you're not supporting Trump, okay, and if you're not supporting his dictator ways, then you can't vote. Ayo, I see my home state of Mass. In June, U.S. District Judge Andrea Tolowa, I am not even going to bother, ruled that Trump's order did not apply in 20-plus Democrat-led states, nullifying the order, whatever the fuck this person's name in, an appointee of former President Obama to the U.S. District Court in Massachusetts wrote in the 27-page ruling that the order is causing confusion and threatening both increasing chaos and, I can't read, an erosion of trust in our democracy. I got poo-poo brain. Duh. Trump notably spoke out against mail-in voting during the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020, the last year of his first term, when more voters turned to mail-in voting amid the crisis. See, that's the thing. And then Biden got elected, right? That's why he thinks mail-in voting is so fucking bad. Right? His condemnation later led to long-standing false claims that he won the 2020 presidential election, and his... Oh my God. I'm sorry. I can't read this seriously. Every time I see this, it's like... Oh my God. But he pretty much thought that the 2020 election was fucking stolen from him, but in reality, no... You just fucking suck and lost fair and square, right? But, we could argue that there is possibly election fraud with your 2024 campaign. You know, Elon Musk illegally paying people to vote for Trump? Remember that little campaign Elon put on, paying people to literally vote for Trump? Yeah, who remembers that? But apparently that was okay. That was fine. The man was literally buying fucking votes through the richest person on earth. But in March, Trump voted by mail from his Mar-a-Lago resort in Palm Beach County. The ballot cast was for the special election between Democratic candidate Emily Gregory and Republican candidate John Maples. It doesn't say that, but I think that sounds better. Who are both vying for the state's House seat vacated by Republican Mike Caruso. Mosh can't read last names, okay? That's one thing I'm going to admit. I am terrible with last names. The president narrowly won the district in 2024. I mean, you got a problem if you're narrowly winning anything in Florida. The president at the time called mail-in voting mail-in cheating. He later defended his choice of voting by suggesting there was a difference between voting by mail when living out of state and That's his excuse? Okay, we're done with this.
Wait a minute. So what you're telling me is, just because you were out of state means you can vote through mail-in ballots, no problem? Huh? So wait a minute. Your logic is that just because you were out of state means you can vote through mail-in voting? Huh? Fucking, I don't know. I don't know. But moving on in other fucking news here, staying on the Trump train though. He got his way with the ballroom. Yep, he got his way. Fucking A. Like, right? Okay, so I was basically looking through ground news, seeing if there was, something else I could also talk about. And, well, this came up. I was only going to talk about the DSP clear of throat. But I was also going to talk about the just the ballroom, right? I was just going to talk about the ballroom, but I refreshed ground news and that came up. Yeah. The Supreme Court temporarily unfreezes Trump's ballroom construction. They gave him his way. Temporarily. But is it worth trying to stop the project at this point? I mean, if you're going to continue to let him build it, then what's... I don't fucking know. Like, do you see what I mean now? And apparently the Supreme Court failed us this time. So, shout out to the Supreme Court. But this time we have an article from the BBC. Yep, that's right. The BBC, the big black cotton. I'm just kidding. We got the British Broadcasting Company this time. Trying to find another Hill article, but this just came out like 3 hours ago on the day that I'm recording this. So this is fresh off the motherfucking presses, baby. Let me show you guys this here real quick.
Right? Nice mic switch mid-video. But this is a current picture of the White House right now and basically what it looks like. And it's an absolute fucking disaster. Now, keep in mind, Trump pretty much did this all by himself. He said, fuck the proper legal processes. Fuck all of that. Okay. Fuck taking this through the proper courts. Fuck going through the proper proceedings. I'ma just do it anyways, because I'm the king, motherfucker. And, well, a historical preservation sued and was like, no the fuck you can't. But the Supreme Court was pretty much like, yeah the fuck you can. So, the article reads, the U.S. Supreme Court has temporarily allowed construction of the White House ballroom to move forward. The decision on Friday by Chief Justice John Roberts issued as a stay will allow the U.S. President Donald Trump's $400 million, 297 million pound project, if you're wondering. I like that there. Shout out to the BBC. Project to continue as the High Court mulls over a case aiming to halt it entirely. But again, that's the thing. If you're going to let the construction continue, then why even bother looking over the case or mull over it at all? Isn't it pointless at this point? You're pretty much allowing him to get his fucking way. So why are we trying to stop the project from happening? It's too late. Bruh, what are we doing? Like, this is a head scratcher, man. Like, come on. Get your fucking shit together, bruh. Article goes on to read, the stay will remain in place pending further action from the court. The case, originally filed by a preservation group that argues the project would become irreversible unless stopped immediately, pretty much right fucking now, was applied to the High Court after, was appealed, damn it, to the High Court after a federal appeals court had ordered the work to halt earlier this month. The appeals court ruled that Trump was a temporary tenant of the White House, which he is. He's only there for 4 years. Let's face it, probably maybe only a couple months or two before his ass fucking finally drops dead. He's close. We all know the fucker is close. It's just they're pumping him full of fucking experimental and stimulants, like experimental drugs and stimulants and all that shit. Eventually his body won't be able to take it anymore and he will drop that. He's getting there. He's getting there. But the appeals court ruled that Trump was a temporary tenant of the White House and could not make the altercations without congressional approval, which he did not get. It gave the administration 2 weeks to appeal the decision. The National Trust for Historic Preservation, a preservation group, has led the lawsuit against the Ballroom, arguing it is causing irreversible damage to a historical landmark, which they are not wrong. It is. And again, what Trump is doing is unlawful. Again, as the article said, he did not go through the he did not go through the proper legal channels. He did not do it the proper way. Didn't go through the proper courts or anything. Again, he just did it himself because Donnie's the fucking king. Jesus. We are aware of the administrative stay, the group told the BBC on Friday. To be clear, this is not a final decision on the merits of the government's stay application, and we await further action. Oh boy, and what do you know, Trump posted on social media that he is grateful for the Supreme Court's decision, saying the new complex is vital for national security. No, it's not! Okay, bud, hold on.
Honestly, I'm going to say it. I don't give a fuck. I'm starting to think that whole correspondence dinner stunt, assassination attempt, I'm keeping that in. But the whole assassination attempt thing, that was pretty much his stunt to get his way for the Ballroom. Think about it for a second. His whole excuse for making this Ballroom is for national security, so they can have a safer correspondence dinner, right? But explain to me why the past correspondence dinners with the past presidents that have been in office have went completely fine. Why is it now that we have a problem and we all of a sudden need to build a fucking over $400 million ballroom? Almost maybe because this is something that Trump wanted and he knew he wouldn't get his way if he went through the proper processes and did it the right way. So instead, he staged a fake assassination attempt at the correspondence dinner to use that as an excuse to pretty much say, no, we need this ballroom. It's national security. It's going to protect everyone in the future. No. No. No.
Article goes on to read, Trump posted on social media that he is grateful for the Supreme Court's decision, saying that the new complex is vital for national security. It is something that presidents have wanted for 150 years. and that the military has been shaking for the last 100. No, it hasn't. Anything to get what you want. Their wish will soon be fulfilled, he wrote of the new ballroom on Troll Social. Fuck it. That's what we're calling it from now on. Troll Social. Ah. The court's decision represents a victory. A bit, perhaps a temporary one. I can't read big words. Tard brain. For Trump, who has long argued that the White House needs a larger event space. Huh? What? No. The White House does not need a larger event space. Okay? Because, honestly, in my opinion, there should be hardly any events held at the White House because the White House is supposed to be the home of the President of the United States, not a party room. He wants to replicate the Epstein parties. You know? It's obvious, man. The guy wants to replicate the feel of those Epstein parties. So he's got to build a nice big fancy ballroom to do it. Aw, he misses his buddy Epstein. The court's decision represents a victory, perhaps a temporary one for Trump, who has long argued that the White House needs a larger event space, and more recently, that it was important for his... There it is. There it is! There it the fuck is! There it is! Right there! Bingo, bango, bongo! Right fucking there. That it was important for his security. Fuck everyone else. Now it's all about Donnie, motherfucker. You know? But hey. Sorry, Mosh is watching football in the background. Article reads, had the Supreme Court not issued a stay or chosen to rule against the Trump administration, the White House would have been legally obliged to halt the construction on Friday. But it didn't happen. The president has asserted that the new ballroom was intended to accommodate grand parties, Epstein-style parties, and state visits, and would improve security. No, it wouldn't. No, it would not. Nope. Far from that, actually. But okay. Government lawyers have argued the additional security complex and features included in the ballroom project are needed to protect the White House complex from drones, ballistic missiles, biohazards, and other threats. Isn't it protected from that shit already? Changes essential to protecting the president, his family, instead. Really? That's your excuse? Well, initially billed as a 650-person ballroom that would incorporate the existing building when it was announced in July 2025, revised plans later expanded to have the capacity of 900 and then about 1,000, with the entire structure of the East Wing being demolished in the process, unlawfully. And here's pictures from June 2025 and now. Yeah, it looks like a shithole, unfortunately. The ballroom's building would consist of the large entertaining space above ground and also a security complex below ground. Trump doubled down on the need for the space after an asset. There it is. There it is. Didn't I not just fucking say that? Didn't I not just say that? There it is. There it is. There it is. Right there. Right fucking there. There it is. Didn't I not just say this? Didn't I not just say this? Get this shit. The ballroom would consist of large entertaining space above above the ground and also a security complex below ground. Trump doubled down on the need for the space after an assassination attempt at the White House Correspondents Association dinner in April. And didn't I not just fucking say that? Didn't I just not fucking say that? That is the sole fucking reason why he wants this ballroom so fucking badly, is because of his assassination attempt at the Correspondents' Dinner, which, honestly, now that I've watched it back many times and fucking, you know, looked, it's fake. It's another fucking stunt. You know? It's nothing more than a fucking fake publicity stunt to get what he wants. Right? This is basically, again, think about it. This is his excuse to get what he wants. He's basically like, well, I don't have to go through the legal process because now this is needed because look what happened at the Correspondents' Dinner. Do we want that to happen again? Yes. But actually, the shot land this time, please. Like, y'all fuckers are 0 for 3. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to stop. I'm at the fucking FBI not going to have enemy. Fuck them. You know? Shit. But the article goes on to read. But the trust, which filed a lawsuit in December, has argued there was no basis to disturb the White House and argued that having a ballroom is not a national security emergency. Finally, someone with brains. They argued federal review panels should be able to weigh in on the plans before the more work is done. The U.S. Congress was not consulted before bulldozers took down the building. The ballroom project, along with the helipad being constructed on the South Lawn, are just part of the president's wider effort to transform Washington's cityscape, which have also included renovation of the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool and a planned Arc de Trump larger than Arc de... I'm not even going to bother that, but it's an arc in Paris.
But yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is where we're at with all this bullshit now. Trump pretty much got his way with his fucking ballroom, and, well, what more is there to fucking say? Again, this man thinks he's a fucking king. This man thinks he can do whatever the fuck he wants. And, well, quite frankly, it's sad. And it's pathetic. But anyways, ladies and gents, boys and girls, that is going to do it for this video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure y'all leave a fucking thumbs up, rate it 5 stars, share it on MySpace. Oh, what's that? This is 2026 and we don't do that anymore? Oh, okay. Well, I guess just like the video and I don't know. What's the new 5 stars now? Man, they need to bring that back. They need to bring that back. But follow me on Twitch, JMosher710, and of course on Kick, JMosh420. And I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace!